Folks, believe me when I'm what I'm about to tell you. I don't take this pulpit or back there teaching lightly. I'm dead serious. So I always try to put God first, and I try to lean on God. And what I'm going to talk on tonight, Jimmy's already started it. We're going to talk about God. God deserves our praise. First of all, He deserves our attention. Have you ever noticed that how some people, when they get to talking about a famous singer, how excited they get? Oh, I can't wait till I get there, you know. Well, what happens when the name God comes up? Oh, I know who you're talking about. You talking about the man upstairs? Oh, yeah. I heard, I know, I read Bible. I know all about him, you know. I know he says he's all powerful. He's everything. He's this, he's that. But the way they're talking, it makes you wonder, do you know what you're talking about? If he's so great, he's so good, why are you about to fall asleep talking about him? I don't know about them, but that ain't the kind of God I serve. The kind of God I serve, He says that He is a consuming fire. Every one of us out there knows what fire is. When a bonfire, whatever you want to do. And we know that fire don't sit there, does it? You get too close to it, what happens? I think we ought to get so close to God that we get burned. Okay? I don't think we're giving God the credit that He deserves a lot of times. And this brings the notion. First of all, God is omniscient. I think I pronounced that right. In other words, He is all understanding, all knowledge. So this little thing, sometimes we get in this notion, oh, God don't understand what's going on. Or God, how come He don't? Have you gave it to Him? Have you fully trusted Him on your situation or about your situation? I mean, God is there to bless. He's there to help us, but He's not going to place His will on us. You know where I'm coming from? In the book of 1 John 3:20, it says, God is greater than our heart and knows all things. He knows what I'm going through. He knows what you're going through. He knows what you're facing. He already knows what you come through and what you're going to be going through. He already knows it all. Think about it. As I get into this, think about God. Where is God in your life? Are you giving Him 50%, 30%, 40%, 90%? How much are you giving Him? You ever stop to think, maybe that's why things in our lives sometimes are real small? Because we're trusting God small. We're not really, well, let me use myself as an example. Sometimes I have to yank my own chain, but times Joy don't yank it. I say in one thing, and then I take it right back. God cannot take care of things like when we do that. We give it to Him, and before we turn around and walk back and go sit back down, we already took it back again. Well, you don't understand. Well, I might not understand, but God understands. Do you believe God? Do you trust God? And I could sit here all day and tell you everything, but I still can't seem to bring out just how big God really is. And He is a great, big, powerful, wonderful God. He is. He is. Now, I'm not here to try to say that bad things don't happen. They do, and they will. But where's our faith? Who do we trust? where's our excitement? See? God is omnipresent. In other words, that means that He is everywhere all the time. You don't have to have a number and wait until God calls that number. He's there all the time. All the time, 24/7. You wake up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and you're sick. And you can't get up with nobody to pray for you. God's there. God's there. He's come to my rescue many times. Many times. In Psalm 139, verses 7 through 12, I'm kind of like break this down a little bit. It says that, it starts off, where can I go from your presence? In other words, can you hide from God? No. If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, you are there. And if I dwell in the deepest parts of the sea, you are there. What is that saying? He's always there. He'll never let you down. He will not fail. Okay? And if you think that God don't know about your situation because maybe the same thing's going on, well, God hadn't healed me, or God hadn't done this, or hasn't done that, give God the credit, because God's got a timetable. Okay? I'm not saying that He's going to heal everybody of everything, because sometimes He chooses not to. I can't give you an answer for that, except keep on trusting God. Just keep God in the situation, because God knows what He's doing and He won't let you down, okay? If anybody lets you down, blame yourself. You don't win battles by what? Giving up. A boxer, when they start out boxing, they probably don't win several boxing fights, do they? But they don't give up. They keep going. They keep going. They keep going. That's what we got to do. When things don't go our way, we got to keep going. We got to keep trusting God. We got to keep our faith in Him. Let me ask you this, to your mind, keep it in your mind. God is our Creator, correct? Now, when you stop and think about the world, all the animals, the insects, whatever, that took a smart person to do that, right? That weren't just any old dummy. And then go beyond that. What about the universe? And I understand that on the internet that the universe is still expanding. It's still growing. And if you go study some things about science and read about all the millions of stars that are out there, and how big some of them stars are, will boggle your mind. And how come all this stuff is out there? How come everything don't bump into each other? Everything is in order, because God does things in order and in decency. That's our God. You take that. That's got to take a genius to create all that stuff. And in my book, God is a genius. He's past a genius. Even a genius, what we consider here on earth, doesn't match His wisdom. It doesn't match Him at all, because I'll go back again to our bodies. Some of you may be having some physical situations going on in your body. God created the body. He knows what's going on. Okay? And in Psalms 102:25 it says, of old you laid the foundation of the earth. The heavens are the work of your hands. Now explain to me where people's coming from when they say they ain't no God. I believe a proverb says, the fool said in his heart, there is no God. That's not my words. That's the word. Okay? God is omnipotent. In other words, He's all power. He has all authority over all things. Let that go through your mind. All power, all authority. Does that bring anything to your mind? He has the ability to do anything He wants and has the right to do it because He's our Creator. Because if it wasn't for Him, they would be nothing. If it wasn't for Him, we would not be here. In Revelation, verse 1, chapter 1, verse 8, it says, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. The Almighty. You know, the Israelites, Moses, when he was going to do what he was supposed to do, the Lord, they ain't going to listen to me. He says, you just tell them, I am. What does I am mean? I am everything. I am the deliverer. I am the healer. I am the Almighty. And they knew what he was talking about. In Genesis chapter 17, verse 1, it says, the Lord appeared to Abraham and said to him, I am Almighty God. I am Almighty God. God is, He's sovereign. He's absolute power. Okay? God is holy. What does holy mean to you? When I look at holy as being completely pure. No spots. Completely pure. Psalms 99 verse 9. The Lord our God is holy. Isaiah 43:15. I am the Lord, your Holy One. Okay? God is righteous. What does righteous mean? Free from guilt, free from wrong. He's just, He's honorable. You know? In Psalms 119:37, righteous are you, O Lord, and upright are your judgments. Okay? I know a lot of times, a lot of people say, God ain't no God of love. If He was, why is this happening? Why is that happening? I can tell you why things is like they are. Sin. Sin. When man fell, that changed the whole order of things. Completely. But trying to tell people that sin is the cause of your problems, they don't want to hear it. But we got to stick to our guns. You know? God is love. If God did not love us, we would not be here right now. But He loves us deeply. John 3:16, everybody knows that, don't they? For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. He loved you and I so much that He gave His Son for a sacrifice for us. And that's love. Do we have that kind of love for Him? It'd be hard, wouldn't it? Hebrews 13:5. He loves us so much that He does care what we're going through. He's concerned with what we're going through. Because it says that He'll never leave you nor forsake you. So when the devil's throwing things your way, okay, where's your God now? Where's your great, big, wonderful, powerful God now? Where's He at? You going to listen to him? Because if you listen to the devil, you're going to get in a worse bind than what you are already in. You know? God is immutable. In other words, I think Jimmy brought this up a while ago. God never changes. Man changes. Situations changes. But God never will change. He's always God. And He always will be God. No matter what man down here says about God, pulling him out of schools, pulling him out of the government, pulling whatever, will not change who God is. It will only complicate problems that's going to come from pushing him aside and forgetting about who God is. In Malachi 3:6 it says, "For I am the Lord, I do not change." Hebrews 13:8 says that He was the same yesterday, He's the same right now, and He's going to be the same tomorrow. He will always be God. Circumstances change. People change. Politics change. The world changes. But God will always be God. He's merciful. In other words, He's compassionate. And I could say that again. I could go back to what I already said. If He wasn't compassionate, that'd be another reason why we would not be here. In Psalm 103:8, the Lord is merciful and gracious. He's slow to anger and plenteous in mercy and loving kindness. Ephesians 2:4, but God who is rich in mercy for His great love wherein He loved us. In Romans 5:8,